Hello and welcome back to the Pink Sofa Hour. I am joined today by Peter Stone. Hello, Peter.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm doing all right.
Uh,
We're out here.
as a fellow owner of a P name,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we have to stick together.
Yes.
I think that's one of the first things.
Almost the same name. Translation of the name.
Yes,
Yes.
It is effectively the same name.
I've been called your name many, many times.
And even if you didn't have a name exactly, Peter, you've been called Pedro before?
People call me Pedro very consistently as a nickname,
That's wild.
yeah.
Occasionally I'll get a Peter or like a Pablo or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
But I always feel like it goes more in one direction than the other.
Yeah, it doesn't feel as good maybe for you being called Peter.
Mm.
I don't know.
Well,
You tell
it
me.
feels great that you're sitting here on the sofa.
I'm so grateful to be here. This is so lovely. This is amazing.
After so many months of waiting.
A lot of build-up.
Yeah. It's been a minute.
Yes.
I remember even saying that to you when we first talked about this whole experience, way back when you came to my open mic at Sanitas.
Yes.
Which, by the way, thank you for coming to those. That is,
Oh, yeah.
we would not have met otherwise, and it is so important, as you know, for us P names to stick together.
Well, it's a fun one, and I haven't been in a little while, but I want to go again soon. It's like, I think every time I've gone there, I've made at least one new friend.
There's a lot of friends
That's kind
to
of
be
like
had.
the goal of the mics, I think.
I
For
would
me,
think so.
a lot of the times, yeah.
Yeah, for a lot of people. I think community is a really important facet of open mics that people don't realize. Of course, getting up and performing is important, but just getting to meet fellow musicians and chatting about what you guys are into and
Yeah.
gluing the community together, it's huge, you know? It's how a lot of people get shows and the rest of it, you know?
Mm.
So, speaking of music, since this is sort of a music-centric interview show, how did you first get into playing music?
Ooh, I was brainwashed by my older sister to be into indie music from a very young age.
Oh, wow.
I have
Like
older,
a MK
I
Ultra
have
kind of
many
thing,
older
or-
sisters.
Sleeper Agent?
Not till later did the MK Ultra elements appear. But no, I have a bunch of older sisters, and there's one in particular that like showed me a bunch of music. My family's very musical. My mom plays piano, like
Nice.
very nice pianist. She played in church. Like my grandpa, bless his heart, he plays more gigs than I do, and he's like 96 years old.
Whoa.
And
What
he's
does
a
he
jazz
play?
pianist, and he
Okay.
just like can hear anything and just play it. Weird kind of that kind of talent.
Yeah?
He's so much better than me.
So you've got like at least another 60 years
I got like
to
60 years to
right?
catch up. Yeah, we'll see.
Plenty of time.
So yeah, very musical family, and then like, so I've been like I learned piano when I was like 5 or something.
Nice.
And I
So that was your
hated
first
it.
instrument. Most people kind of always hate the first instrument they
Yeah.
pick up.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
then like I got someone copying me like a bunch of CDs like Led Zeppelin and AC/DC and The Who, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna play guitar. And like every one of my friends all learned guitar when we were like 11 and 12.
That was the
And that was it. And then I was like, oh, this is the best thing that I could ever imagine.
It's a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a little easier to carry around than a piano.
Much easier.
Yeah.
So yeah, ever since that point, I was like, I want to write songs. I want to be on stage. I want to travel around. All of it.
So that was like the goal from the very beginning.
It was pretty fast after starting the guitar that I was like writing songs, playing shit. We played probably our first show like a year later or something.
You played your first show a year later after.
Yeah, I think when I was like
picking up the
13.
guitar. Wow. Where did you play your first show?
I
when
think
you
it was
were
at a
13 years
church
old?
battle of the bands for my friend's church. I remember that we played White Room by Cream.
Nice.
And we
Yeah,
played.
that's tough.
It is tough. I didn't even fully register maybe that there's like a section in 5.
Mm-hmm.
But we did it. And the cake, I Will Survive, and then we played an original song. That was our set. We did not win.
It's okay. You know, most people can't claim to have won the first show they ever played.
Yeah. No.
But, you know, you did play, which is kind of a victory in and of itself.
Sometimes.
That's a lot of fun. Honestly, performance experience is really important, I think, to doing music.
Yeah.
There's also, playing on your own at home and cultivating that practice and not worrying about going out and performing. But performance in and of itself is sort of like a little sub art of the art.
Yeah.
There's so many things about performance that you can really lean into or kind of ignore. Like, for example, stage banter.
Uh-huh.
Do you like banter?
I feel very fulfilled and like affirmed to have recently been complimented on my stage banter, because I'm definitely like coming from a shy place, quiet, shy child. So like it's been a journey to be. Now I've like basically like broken down my any kind of like hesitation, and things just come out of my mouth. And recently people were like, yeah, it was actually really funny, like that was really good. And I was like, you liked it? But that's nice. No, and I think that like the performance aspect is like maybe tied with one other aspect of music as like my actually favorite part of doing music. Like there's so many, as you well know, there's so many like sub jobs. There's so many jobs that you're doing if you're doing an artist project. But yeah, actually just performing is like what I like.
Yep.
Yeah.
For example, promoting.
I don't like that one.
Always kind of a pain. I don't think many people do.
No.
That's part of why I did this is to just help people out.
Yeah.
Help them get a little promo out there.
Yes, and it's really beautiful. And I also love like contributing in that way, like to the community, and like try to like set up things and book people at things where like I'm exposing art, like other local artists to like my community, and just trying to like bring people together in that sense, which is like I feel like something that we share like a passion for, of like making the community more interwoven and like authentically loving and friendly.
Right. Just gluing all these lovely people together.
Yeah.
And just letting them know that there's more people like them out there.
Yeah.
Is usually all that it takes.
Yeah.
So, you came from a big family of music.
A lot of music. Yeah.
How many siblings do you have?
I have 2 older biological sisters, and then I have 2 stepsisters older than them.
Wow.
Also 4 older sisters.
4 older sisters.
4 older yeah, that's right.
I feel like that's the name of a band. 4 older sisters.
Band name.
Like you're the lead singer,
Got it down.
and it's just all 4 of your sisters.
That'd be sick. I played at Trident like a month ago maybe, and my sister Annie, who was the person I was talking about that like was like, you're gonna listen to indie rock. She
Bless her soul.
She sat in with me and we sang 2 duets at
Nice.
Trident, and it was really lovely. She was like
That is
a very
awesome.
highly trained singer, like got way more into the like jazz singing, whereas I was like, I just want to play rock music.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Heck yeah. So, you're not from Colorado.
I'm not from around here.
You're not from around.
I'm not from around here. I only moved here like 7 months ago, I guess.
That's
in
phenomenal.
October.
And you're already playing shows. That's so great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is great.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Making an impact, I think, is not easy for people sometimes when you show up to a new scene and you don't know what to do, you don't know where to go, you don't know who to talk to. It's important to just kind of dip your toes into the pool and decide for yourself which part of the city / which city you like the most, and kind of contribute your efforts towards it. You moved here 7 months ago. Where'd you move from?
I was nomadic for like 2 years before moving here.
Just driving around the country?
Kind of, mostly in Northeast. But like, so immediately prior I was in Philadelphia for a month, and then Montreal, Boston. I lived in France for a month before that.
Ooh.
Boston. And then before that was like very chaotically around the Northeast for a little while. Like, kind of like car and couch surfing. Just doing, playing a lot of gigs, like from North Carolina up to Maine and everything in between.
We're gonna get back to road stories in a second. But do, where were you originally from?
Okay, yeah, and but like I'm from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania.
There we go.
I grew up there and lived like around there until I was 18. Basically, like my real homes have been there in Boston and Los Angeles.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
How do you like Colorado so far?
I like it. It's really
Yeah.
sharp.
Sharp.
Everything's really sharp here.
Like people
Like the
tune their
rocks.
instruments to like 442.
The grass,
Oh yeah.
cacti,
The insects.
the.
Yeah.
It's really beautiful.
Yeah.
I believe that I have been finding a very like warm and strong community of friends, which is. So, as you might have gleaned from my previous question answer, I've been a lot of places,
Mhm.
and like, they're all fine.
Yeah.
There's a lot. Every place has something to offer, and it's really more about like who you meet and get to hang out with while you're there.
Absolutely.
Which is so. I feel like here I've been meeting people that are very loving. I've been meeting people that are very talented. Like the music people I've been interacting with, I've been very like blown away by. So that aspect has been really wonderful, fulfilling, like encouraging.
Yeah, I find that Colorado is also one of the warmest places, at least emotionally, that I've been. Coming from the East Coast, I'm from
Yeah.
Miami, Florida,
You're from Miami.
where people are a little more aggressive.
Oh yeah, I have a lot of Miami people in my life.
Yeah,
It's
but
an-
anywhere
it's
you
an
go,
intense culture.
I know. The pink, sometimes. I feel like the pink is kind of like a crossover for me. Like, if
How's
I
that?
didn't grow up in Miami, I'm not sure I would have a pink sofa.
Oh, okay.
You know?
Just like being willing to be like loud visually.
Yeah, just like, it's not like it's a aggressively pink couch. It is
No, it's
it's
soft.
distinctly pink. It is a soft pink. But, yeah, it takes it takes a certain kind of appreciation of color theory to make that sort of like the prime portion of the visual real estate.
Sure.
Um,
Yeah. But no, it's funny, the whole, like there's one person in particular that I like had a very close relationship with that we like laughed a lot about how like, isn't it, I guess a lot of our differences maybe could be pinned down to like, I'm from like a podunk city in like farm country basically, and you're from Miami.
it's a
really
difference.
changes your outlook.
It's certainly. I
Yeah.
honestly have come to appreciate. This interview is not about me, but I
Tell us.
I lived for 4 months in a very small town of 10,000 people
Where?
in Michigan
Okay.
called Big Rapids,
Okay.
and that's where my heart kind of was like, I kind of like this quietness,
Yeah.
this serenity, and like the sort of small town, like we're gonna see each other tomorrow, so let's not be assholes to each other today.
Oh,
sort
for
of
sure.
thing.
Where it's like, yeah, Harrisburg is like, if you go to concerts, you're gonna see the same people at
Mhm.
all the concerts. If you go to, there's like a few cool bars, you're
Right.
gonna see the same people there over and over again.
Right.
Which it's not like 10,000 people. It's like few 100,000.
Right.
But it's more like that.
Right. I mean, yeah, Miami's like 4 or 5 million or something.
Millions,
Wild.
yeah.
Anyway, you have been releasing music since
Yeah.
2020
And before that, but yeah, as my solo project, yes.
as your solo project.
Yes.
Falls Reservoir was the first one.
Fells Reservoir, Fells, yeah.
Fells.
Which is one of the Boston places that's like near and dear to my heart.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Is that a place you spent a lot of time? Not Boston. but
Oh
the
yeah.
Reservoir?
Yeah, it was so like when I lived in Boston, I lived in Somerville, and it's like there's this reservation, like preserved forest and lakes that's very nearby to there called the Fells, and it's just like basically like you can walk there from the city and then walk in and you're like, oh, I feel like I'm in the middle of the forest right now. It's very very wonderful. The conservation like culture in that area is strong, and it's very satisfying to have that.
It's nice when you go to a big city and they have something.
Yeah,
There's
I'm like, oh, I can go to the forest still, even though I live in Boston. I can like ride a subway into downtown.
It's
That's
important.
sick.
And that song in particular actually has an enormous amount of plays on Spotify, at least.
Yeah, it's people like it, I guess.
They must,
somebody
right?
likes it, yeah.
Yeah. So that's 2020, and most of the releases that you've done up to this point have been singles.
Yeah, I just keep putting out singles. I released 2 songs like as a pair, just because they were a little bit like different. I worked with a producer to make them. I worked with Runner, Noah Weinman. His artist project is called Runner, to make those ones. So they just kind of had their own like sonic identity. So I put those 2 out as a pair. But other than that, I've really been releasing them as singles, like just trying to get on the like level of the internet smarts of like the EDM hip hop pop community.
Right.
I'd be like, don't be so tied to the, you know, the reason we release albums is because they had to go on these LPs, and so they were a certain length because they fit on an LP, a vinyl, and that's why we had albums, and that's really the only reason. Before that, it was singles.
Right.
Kind of coming back to it again.
That's a strategy.
Yeah.
And it's a good one. It works. So, we're about a quarter of the way through the interview. Congratulations.
Wow.
How are you feeling?
I feel good. Should we do a song?
You want to do a song?
Is it song o'clock?
That's usually around the time I allow people to do a song.
Allow me to do a song. Yeah.
You are now cleared for
Well,
song.
let's play Fells Reservoir because we were just talking about it.
Sure.
And yeah, it's a really nice place. Like, it's so gorgeous. And just like, the reason I wrote that song is because I was having a real stressful experience. And I went and just like, I really like going on little solo walks. And I went there and I was sitting on the rock and just like having a whole cathartic moment. And wanted to enshrine it in a song. You good?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, I walked the path, yeah, to the lake. I went to think, I went to pray. Please keep baby smiling at me. Keep us dancing midair like bees. Well, I found my place, sparrow led through woods of pine to that rock bed. Oh, clear water, please keep me clean. Keep us dancing midair like bees. while the world is falling towards the sun. I'll be watching, I'll be listening when the wind finally carries me
Lovely. Very nice, Peter.
Thank you.
That was excellent.
Thank you.
Let's get these headphones on.
And nice.
Yes.
Yes, Scooter.
The
Your singing was lovely.
the house backup singer.
The Hound.
He's had quite a few voice lessons. Very well trained. Scooter, come on, show yourself to the camera.
You gonna be on camera,
Get
Scooter?
on over here.
He's looking good down here.
He looks great.
Yeah.
everyone.
He's relaxing.
Yeah. Singing.
Singing. What about it?
Obviously, you like singing.
Oh, I really enjoy singing.
I can tell.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Thank you.
Did you do any singing as a kid, or did you
Only
pick up singing
so
recently?
my singing is all just like learned by doing. I'm about to do some voice lessons for the first time.
That's wild.
Yeah, because
Love
I
that
want
for
to
you.
not damage my throat, which happens sometimes.
Yeah,
My voice box.
that's important.
Yeah. But yeah, I loved singing as a kid. I just make tons of noise as a kid. I always got in trouble for like making noise, like whatever, any kind of noise.
I mean, most kids at one point or another, probably, right?
Yeah, okay, but it's a spectrum.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. You're on the more louder part of the spectrum, I suppose.
Yeah.
So I'm sure you probably get this question a lot, but what do your tattoos mean on your fingers?
Oh, I got these tattoos. These are my most recent ones. I got them like a year ago.
They're very cool, by the way. When you're
Thank
playing
you.
guitar, it really shows them off.
I know.
Yeah.
It's funny. They're like so prominent.
Yeah.
They're all kind of just like minimalist symbols that have some sort of
Let's
meaning.
get that
to them.
camera angle on them. There it is.
But they kind of like the overarching meaning is that there's like my right hand has what I consider phallic symbols, and these ones are yonic symbols, like male and female. And I'm non-binary, and it's like just representing the aspects of like those types of energies being interwoven.
That's really cool.
But yeah, I also like that this one has like a wine glass, and I can drink wine fancy with my pinky up, and there's a wine glass there. I like that my middle fingers have either a sword or a flower, so if I'm flipping someone off, it's a really different vibe depending.
Yeah. Huh. That's impressive. I like that.
That's the idea.
Yeah. I like sigils and tattoos that are sort of like symbolic from a magical kind of standpoint in general. I feel like
Oh yeah.
they carry a lot of weight or power or magic in them. you know.
Well, the magic. Okay, this one is like that's
Whoa.
like an embellished version of a symbol that's from like Slavic paganism
Okay.
that people would carve. Like the gods in Slavic paganism are kind of similar to Greek or Norse gods. They're all
Uh-huh.
kind of related, but yeah, they would carve it on their like the central beam of their cottage and to be like tell the lightning god like, hey, like we're chill, like we're good people, like don't strike us down.
Huh. I love that.
Which
That's
is
funny.
like my ancestry partially. So
I can see that. I have one tattoo, and it is also from Slavic mythology.
no shit.
It's an Icelandic rune.
Whoa.
They used to carve it on the mast of ships.
Oh,
So
like
that
the
they-
Wayfinder one.
It's so that people would not get lost in rough weather. Yeah.
The Norse compass or something?
Vegvisser is what people call it.
What is it?
Vegvisser.
Vegvisser. I think I considered putting that one on myself as well.
Yeah, I didn't know this before I got it, but like
Yeah.
Bjork has one like on her shoulder.
Really?
And like yeah, it's fairly popular.
Yeah, it's a common. I mean, it's like a prominent like mythology that is very attractive to people, like Norse mythology. But yeah, that one's sick. I definitely have like drawn it on a paper as a spell.
I do like to think that it keeps me sort of guided.
Yeah.
It's the intention of it. It's sort of like a really nice form of magic to think that like, well, like even if you make mistakes, like you'll still find your way home.
Yeah.
Sort of a thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is like partially what I was thinking with the one on my chest too, is like connection to home. I mean, like, you know, being in the USA here, our ancestors. I don't know your ancestral history, but for
South
me,
America, Spain.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
But like, it's not that many generations that we've been here, and it's like that like severing, like physical location, as well as like the cultural severing of like, you know, we don't necessarily have the traditions. Yeah, especially for this one, this religion is like basically wiped out. It doesn't really exist anymore. Yeah, so like feel that connection to home, and like feeling that safety.
Are there any tattoos that you're looking to get to?
Yeah, I want to get a tattoo of like a frog that's like sheltering from rain under a leaf. I think I'm gonna get that very soon, actually.
That's adorable. Nice.
Yeah, it's gonna be really cute.
Cool. Hell yeah. I feel like there's like two main philosophies to tattoos. Some people are like, I'm gonna like keep them all in the same like family of tattoos. Like they're all gonna be like this style of tattoo. Like picturesque, kind of like ideal romanticized looking like gothic stuff, or like, you know, like symbolic stuff.
Yeah, or
like
people like
sigils.
just want old school sailor tattoos. Or
Yeah, but
just like fine line.
But some people are just like,
psychedelic
I'm
shit.
just gonna go crazy. And
I like the
that
philosophy
too.
of like, yeah, people who get anything that have like tattoos that are just funny and silly. It's like,
Yeah, and
very
it kind of
interesting.
creates its own sort of like very unique canvas that is representative of like, I like all these things, like, you know,
Yeah.
only God can judge me.
It's fun. Part of the nice part about it is like a feeling of like ownership of your body, like control of your body. Like a lot of people have struggles with like, you know, not necessarily feeling like comfortable with your body or safe within your body, and like having like exercising some like that's part of what I think is really enjoyable about body modification is like you're like
Right.
actually this is me, like I am in control of this.
I get to decide what that is.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. So like that agency, I think it's kind of like therapeutic.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Especially good conversation to be having on the last weekend of Pride Month.
Pride
So,
Month, yeah.
Here we are. There's probably some cool events going down in Denver right now.
Yeah, I think we're gonna go to a parade tomorrow.
Yeah,
That'll
that's
be
tomorrow. The big one, right?
That'll be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if I opened up your Spotify right now,
Mm-hmm.
what would be the first thing that is in your most recently searched for?
Ooh. Wow. So I was listening to embarrassing. I was listening to a Spotify editorial playlist on the way over here.
That's okay.
Which like
Nothing
for a while I was
to
like,
say.
I'm never listening to another Spotify editorial playlist again.
Oh my God.
Because I don't know, you know, Spotify. I hope you don't get mad at me for listening if you're listening to this, but it's
About
kind
to
of
lose my
really
sponsorship
fucked up.
money.
Yeah, I don't like how it's like you don't know who the editor is. Like, what's that about? Radio hosts used to be like part of the scene. Like the radio host was a personality that you could
Right.
like interact with. And now it's like these people are like, it's like a shadow radio host. Like,
Sometimes I feel like there's curators who are like I'm like this guy or like this group of people, but like even then it feels very weird and detached. It's not like
Well, you can't. I just don't like you can't tell who it is. But yeah, I was listening to that, and I actually like
let us judge you.
Which I was listening to one called The Wilds. It's like,
Bless you, Scooter.
bless you. It's nice. It's a lot of kind of like similar to what I make, like indie alt folk, like kind of like psychedelic folk stuff, maybe.
Yeah.
Like there was a Lisa Hannigan song on there. I love Lisa Hannigan. She's great.
Okay. Yeah.
In terms of like what I've been obsessed with recently, like, oh my god, I told you I just went to Red Rocks for the first time
Right.
on Thursday.
Shaky Graves.
And yes, it was Shaky Graves, who I love Shaky Graves so much, but there was 3 artists, and he wasn't even the one I was most like jazzed to see. Like Neil Francis played, who's like a wonderful kind of like R&B funky pianist. Like he has also his fashion is so cool. Like he just like
it's your amp. It's probably your cell phone.
Oh.
It sounded like some distant like
Yeah, it sounded like someone was
jackhammer going
jackhammering. Yeah, Neil Francis and Katie Pruitt, who also is like all 3 of them are so amazing, and it was just a mind blowing show.
And it was your first time to Red
It was
Rocks.
my first time at Red Rocks, and like even
Tell us everything.
it was so fun.
What row were you
Me
sitting
and
in?
Matt, my homie, who's like my bandmate, he's in bands with me. We went together, and what row? We were right behind the sound booth, which is
Ooh,
like
yeah,
the
that's a
best
great
place.
spot.
If you don't know, if you stand near the sound guy, you get better sound because that's the person doing the sound.
That's the spot.
And it's like we went in, and like as we were online to get in, like we made friends with the people in front of us and like hung out with them the whole show, and they were super friendly, and like we're homies now. We like exchange info. It was like really like wholesome interaction with concert buddies.
That's so important.
And we had
honestly.
to get like I knew that the previous day like 100 people had been injured by hail at Red Rocks, which was terrifying and awful. So everyone was really aware of that, and Red Rocks was much more cautious this time. So they sent us away to the cars twice.
Really?
But the show went on. And we
They
came
like
back. Yeah, twice we cleared out the venue to go
Whoa.
shelter,
Wow.
and it did hail, but not
Not aggressively.
apple size. Yeah,
Apple size.
not
Did,
apple size.
So they sent
So-
you not to the parking lot. But
Yeah, like to our cars.
To your cars. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I guess
Which
I mean
was
there's
fun.
not enough
Hung
space
out
for
with the
people
neighbors.
inside, really.
The parking lot neighbors, and they gave me a chocolate chip cookie
Yeah.
and some potato chips. It was really nice.
Lovely.
Yeah, this is my best getting hailed on experience to date.
You know, there's sort of the thing about Red Rocks where some shows are not as lovely
Sure.
as that one. And I'm glad that you went on a show where you had the opportunity to sit right next to the sound booth, because oftentimes a lot of people show up to some of these shows, especially to the big like sold out shows, and things get a little hectic.
Really?
Sometimes. Yeah. So
Yeah.
and I would hate for that to be your first experience.
Well, it definitely
Yeah.
was like less crowded because I'm sure many people left.
And the hail and stuff
Yeah,
like that. Yeah.
like I'm not sure everyone was as
Yeah.
willing to shuffle around that much. It's probably just drove off.
It's just such a special venue, you know?
It was so special, and I love like rock formations, and like I'm obsessed with nature in general. So like just to have that, to be like we drove up, and I'm like, yeah, I would come here like just to go here, which of course, who wouldn't?
People
And
literally
then I'm
go
like,
to
but
hang out.
also you're telling me not only is this place this beautiful that like I would come here just to come here and look at it, but like we're gonna see this concert as well.
Yeah, it's pretty insane.
And all these friends here, wow, yeah.
Yeah, there's not a lot of other places like it, to be honest.
Yeah. So those 3 artists I was like listening to a lot because I was really excited about going to the show and stuff. And I love Shaky Graves. He's like a big inspiration.
What is your musical guilty pleasure?
Kim Petras?
Okay, that's not that
Maybe?
guilty.
Guiltier?
Like, what would you be embarrassed if somebody pulls up your Spotify and they're like, why were you listening to Nickelback?
Myself? I do like the song Something in Your Mouth by Nickelback.
Yeah, that's...
You gonna talk about that one? It's kind of hilarious.
That's not so bad.
I don't know. Because
I
I
know
don't really
shame to any
feel
of the
that
Nickelback
ashamed
fans,
about
you know?
like no, Nickelback's good. It's funny. It's like a meme to hate them. It's like
Yeah.
they're not
They're doing what they're doing, you know.
It's fine.
It's butt rock.
Yeah.
Have you heard of
What
the
would I
word
be-
butt rock?
Yeah, they're butt rock, exactly. What would I be embarrassed about? I would tell you if
The
I
correct
was.
answer is actually nothing, honestly.
Like,
It's-
I enjoy pop music. Like, I've been listening to more pop music because my partner really enjoys, like, Doja Cat and, like, Lizzo and, like, that shit. And they're amazing.
Yeah.
And I've gotten more into, like, Harry Styles recently and, like...
Sure.
Yeah. I don't
It's
know.
it's not so,
So
much a
I
question.
listen to stuff that, like, maybe hipsters would be like, that's not cool, but, like, whatever.
I think the hipsters are getting wise to their own antics at this point.
Yeah.
They know, like, I personally feel like all expressions of music, for the most part, are fairly sacred. You know?
Yeah.
Of course, there's, like, production teams behind stuff, and, like, there's, you know, whatever, the MK Ultra shit, but for the most part, we're lucky to live in a world with a lot of really nice and interesting music.
Yeah, for sure. And like maybe pop like my main problem with pop music is that I think it's like too polished that like I like to hear the like humanity. I've been thinking about this a lot because like I'm in a recording class that's like talking about this specifically of like welcoming chaos and like allowing for the kind of unexpected interactions that occur when you're like recording stuff like more instruments live,
Right.
and like there's spill happening between the mics, like you know
Right.
my guitar is in the vocal mic and the drums are in the
And you
know,
can't
keyboard
keep it out,
mic.
you can't phase it
and
out.
like
Yeah.
it's just like actually capturing the human moment is really beautiful, and it's like it's magic, and like music kind of is like a spell that we're casting, you know.
It's time magic,
Yes,
specifically.
wiggly air magic.
Yeah, but it wouldn't make any sense if it couldn't happen over a certain course of time.
Yeah.
And it divides that time in
Yeah.
a very particular way. So
So-
I always like to think of it as like literally like time magic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, time is like a big
Time-
part of
time and
it.
sonic magic, but like the sound part is also very intricately linked to time because it's all vibrations,
Yeah.
which have a direct relationship to the passage of time.
I like the comparison of music and architecture, like architecture or interior design similarly, are like we're creating a space, like a physical, three-dimensional space that you're going to inhabit. And musicians are like, we're going to create a sonic space that you're going to inhabit. Like it's like, I love thinking about a song as like a room. Like
Yeah.
you're walking in and it's like, okay, like this
I like
is all
that.
happening. Yeah, it's not, which is not my idea. I think it was Molly Sarley who said that. But like, yeah, just really fun.
So, speaking of time, I believe you said that you wanted to play 5.
Let's do another
Right.
song.
Well, we're gonna have to start cranking them out.
We
'Cause-
can
'cause
do
we are
fewer
now-
songs too. You know that I said I didn't care how many songs I did.
I know, but I
And
know
said,
what
how many
always
songs am I
feels
supposed
so-
to do?
I always feel so rude when I don't leave enough time for people to do what they want to do.
Well, let's play. So, let's play one of the more recent songs I put out. Let's play "Support You." Just a nice little tune.
Off we go then.
Off we go then. No scratching.
No scratching, Scooter. He's looking at us just staring at you. Rapture.
Yeah, you can leave if you want. Yeah, you can leave if you want. But I don't want you to go. I don't want to be alone. And I don't want no one to ever take your place. You can be what you want. Yeah, you can be what you want. Hell, I'd sure love to know. Yeah, I want to bed, ignore my restless head, and I will walk around this town alone again, 3 a.m. Well, I can be alone. Yeah, I can be alone. Well, I've done it before. I'll pace across the floor and walk down to the shore to watch the sunset. Yeah, but I love the way you sigh. And yes, I love look in your eyes. You tell me that I'm yours, and you sound so sure. You could not love me more. It's more than 1,000 supernovas. And I will kiss your neck. I will let you rest. There will be no more judgment as we pass our years in contentment.
You're 2 out of 2 with Scooter. Congratulations. He's absolutely loving it.
He's loving it.
He's having himself a little nap right now. But that one is one of the more recent ones.
That's right. Second most recent. Yeah.
And the name of that one again?
Support you.
Support You.
Yeah.
I like that. That's
From the line in the song is like, I want to support you as your flower unfolds in the morning.
That's a good one. You want to chat about it a little bit?
About the song?
Yeah.
Oh man.
What was the
What about it?
inspiration for that one?
I keep a very different schedule sleep-wise than my partner, which can be challenging at times. So I was thinking about like, it's okay, like you go to bed, I'll do my thing, and maybe I'm gonna be walking around like this is. I wrote this when we were in France, and I didn't know anybody, so I'm like, I can just walk around the town and like do whatever. I don't know, it's fine. And just in general, like wanting to find out like what your partner wants from you and needs from you, so that you can provide it, like given that you're able to and that you want to, which I very much do. Yeah.
Yeah.
And just like recognizing, you know, times when maybe I was judgmental or I was, you know, like being pushy about like going out or something, and being like, that's not nice. Like, I want to support you. I want to be gentle and like content and sweet.
You'd be surprised how many people don't reflect on those kinds of feelings.
Yes.
So I think you know, it's very intelligent, emotionally intelligent, and smart. You know.
Yeah.
And it shows that you care.
I do.
Which is
I really do care.
many different forms of doing that, and one of the ways is thinking.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Spending some time with your brain, figuring out what it is that you know, things mean.
Yeah. And I think, okay, so part of the song is also about like non-attachment. Like I'm saying, like you can leave if you want. Like I don't want you to go, but like you can, and like I can be alone. And maybe it's not what I want, but like just like that kind of like non-attachment in a healthy way of being like, I actually am okay.
Right.
Like I am self-sufficient, healthy person.
Right.
So that.
Well, that's the only place you can really come from.
Yeah.
When you really want to make something special with someone.
Yeah, you can't be like in your wounds and expect that someone else is going to show up and like take care of you, because you have to both be like stable.
Underrated advice.
Yeah.
So you mentioned you were in some other projects.
I am. I'm very excited to like I said, I was really nomadic for a little while, for a couple years, so I was mostly alone, solo, no bands for those few years.
Mm-hmm.
But I was getting tired of it, and since being here for like 7 months, now I'm in a few different bands. I'm really excited. I'm playing guitar for this project called Elise Thoreau's. Elise Thoreau's makes wonderful music, and you can listen to her music already on Spotify and iTunes, etc. But she's putting together the live show, and I'm going to be part of it. Also, like, starting 2 bands. Like, one of them is called Heart Reaper, which is like my dear.
It sounds like a punk rock or like a hardcore.
It's like emo folk,
Okay.
pop punk,
Okay, yeah.
alt.
Psych folk.
So it's not heavy. The name is, I love that the name is like contrasting, Heart
Yeah.
Reaper. But like Noah's lyrics are heavy.
Okay.
So in that sense, certainly it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's like Noah, who has played around town. They lived in Boulder for quite some time and living in Denver now, but only as of late. So people may have seen them perform as Boy Scout, but like yeah, so just playing guitar and like singing backups for that, and then like another band that we're calling Pushcat. That's like a
Pushcat.
kind of like a rock band. But yeah, I love being like just a
Mouse
guitarist. Yeah, it is. I didn't think about that. That's a good comparison though. People love that show.
They do love that show. But like it's also like the quintessential like 2-syllable like rock band that doesn't have a real like purpose behind the name. They're like,
no, we really like
need a
cats.
name, what are we gonna do?
We really like cats. We're pushing cats on people. Like
Okay.
y'all should love cats too. We really
Honestly,
push cats.
that's
Push
even
cat.
better if you can put something meaningful behind.
It's very
the name.
meaningful. And we have a mascot named Peppercorn, who's a cat.
Oh,
Yeah.
I also love cats.
Yeah.
Just because I have a dog doesn't mean.
No, I like them all.
Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, I like all the animals.
Um,
But yeah, so lots of fun stuff, and like already like Pushcat has been doing like sections of my performances. Like if anyone sees me being like, oh, I'm playing with friends, or like they've played out with me a few times, and yeah, I don't know. We're doing a house show on July 8th that Heart Reaper is going to perform at,
nice.
as well as Clementine Was Right, which is another Denver band.
Clementine Wolf.
Clementine Was Right.
Clementine was right.
Yeah, they're sick. I played with them before at Skylark, and they were so good.
So you know there's a band in Fort Collins called Clementine.
Well, oh. Okay.
Not sure what to do with that information, but I am. I'm gonna go follow both of them and then.
Yeah, no, I really like them. And they have like a
Send each
poetry section of the set, and like I don't know, it's very cool. It's kind of like alt country punk thing, which is like my favorite genre, basically.
I like the alt stuff.
And there's gonna be one more artist for that house show.
Who knows who
to
it'll be?
To be announced.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so that's exciting. But you can see Heart Reaper on July 8th, and it's very lovely. You'll have to DM me for the address. Yeah.
Do you have any other shows coming up right now?
Oh yeah, tomorrow.
There we go.
Oakley Art House Solstice Party.
Oh.
It's a big deal. Such a cool like Boulder institution. Oakley Art House is very cool. And I'm really excited to be there.
I
Like
didn't know
I've
you
just
were
met the
playing
people. I haven't actually been over there, but I just like know about it. And
Yeah, Maureen and Hank and.
Yeah, I just
Those
met some of
homies.
the nice people.
They're great.
Scarlett is the one who like invited me to be part of it. Very exciting. Come out. It's gonna be a real wholesome time.
I might
We're gonna
come
get
out.
sparkly hair. There's gonna be
Ooh.
like the person, like I said, Scarlett invited me. Her thing is doing like thrifting and upselling like clothes and vintage, vintage clothes.
Lovely.
So there's gonna be that happening, clothing swap happening, concert, just vibes. We're gonna be vibing out.
I might actually go. I was
Yeah.
sort of looking for something to do tomorrow.
Yeah, Pedro's gonna be there. I'm gonna be
I
there.
might be there, I don't
It's gonna
know.
be kind of pretty cool crew.
So, it took me a while to figure out whose voice you reminded me.
Oh, okay.
But it's finally starting to dial in. And I know we were talking a little bit about butt rock. I'm not going to say Eddie Vedder or anything like that.
Oh, that's a nice one.
But, I don't actually know the name of the vocalist, but the guy from Incubus.
From Incubus. Ooh, that person has a really nice voice.
Yeah, but like it's also and it's sort of like somewhere between Incubus and Train. That like late '90s sort of like nasal quality.
That's like in there pretty
Mhm.
heavily in my brain, just growing up in that time period. Like I just turned 30 this year. That's like that was happening when I was forming my understanding of music that
Yeah.
was on the radio.
Exactly, and that really influences the way people use their voice a lot usually. And I think that there's sort of like more of a folky quality to it. I'm not sure exactly what it is that makes a voice folky, but like I think a lot of it has to do with sort of a natural sort of approach. When people like, for example, get voice lessons, they sort of like work out their like self, not like they're working on themselves, but like they literally push out like their own personal tendencies to use their voice in particular ways.
Yes.
To make room for like this academic model of singing.
Yes.
And so like they
Yes.
lose a little bit of their own personality.
Like,
But-
yeah, a little bit of like what I'm doing wrong. And I think I think you're onto it. Like what sounds folky is like we all have these little like,
Mhm.
non-ideal aspects, which like to like calling back to what we were talking about with like pop music versus more like punky, grungy, folky stuff.
Right.
Where it's like the imperfection is part of the charm,
Right.
which I enjoy, and I'm like I'm not gonna, it's not going anywhere. But like, yeah, it's definitely, and just being willing to like pronounce the words like in your accent,
Mhm.
not necessarily like in the roundest, most perfect sounding way.
Right, the
Um,
pure tone, vowel stuff, like it's a little overrated for modern music in so many ways, and I think that it's charming to hear people who actually embrace what they sound like when
Yeah.
they speak, and it also makes singing more natural, easier in general. Most of the time, when you end up, taking lots of voice lessons that are like academic, and then you go outside of that world to like regain what you're supposed to sound like, you're basically trying to teach your voice to just sing as if you're just talking again,
Mm-hmm.
which is just the weirdest sensation to like try to do what you're already doing naturally, but like you have to like leave the switch off kind of thing.
I guess. I don't know. I
Yeah.
get really in my head about like my speaking voice as well. Like which is not uncommon, but like I'm one of those people that's really quick to like I'll pick up your slang and your like inflections fast,
Right.
which everyone does, but people do it at like different rates.
Right.
And I'm like really fast to do it, and I'm just like, wow, I just like copied that person's whole personality. That was weird. But yeah, so like I don't know,
like
like
a form of a compliment.
yeah,
Yeah.
I don't like. I feel like my accent, like I do voices all the time, like joke voices,
Yeah.
so regularly that I feel like I've like disturbed whatever I would have spoken like. I
I wouldn't
don't know.
worry about
it's just it's something I think about where I'm like I don't know what
It's
I
all-
talk
it's
like.
all- it's
Is
like-
this what I talk like? This is what I just talk like now?
That's just what I talk
I just talk like this now, and I just find myself doing the southern accent like without meaning to. I'm like,
Yeah, I think you did
Weird.
that. I kind of like did a jokingly British thing, and then you kind of did a jokingly
oh, I do.
British thing.
Well, I've been hanging out my partner does Kiwi and Australian all the time, so I'm
Okay.
doing that one a bunch, but also the British.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do the southern one a lot.
I wouldn't worry about it.
I wouldn't worry a bit.
It's
I can't even
it's like
do that
yoga
right.
for the voice. You're like just stretching,
Yeah,
exploring sort of like your range of motion.
it's
is
very
what it is.
playful.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's all part of it.
Hmm. Yeah, it's nice to feel free with like your speech because just having known people and also in my own life like people who struggle to express themselves.
Yeah.
And like so like that kind of play and like that kind of therapeutic stuff where you're just like I want to say whatever, I'll talk silly. I don't care. You can laugh at me.
It's more
It's
important
really
to singing
helpful.
than you might imagine.
And in the singing, yeah, it comes across because like you have to do. I don't know. I like when singers do weird stuff when they're singing. too.
Yeah.
Like I really love
That's
Adrienne Lenker. She like makes the weirdest noise. She just like moans into the mic sometimes, or
There
like
you go.
screams, or like when Phoebe Bridgers screams, and it's like, all
There you
right,
go.
that's sick.
Right. So, you have time for one more?
Yeah, let's do one more.
Let's do one more.
Let's do. Okay, we were talking about record earlier. Bust it out. Turn on my strap right here. Boop 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 boop. Yeah. So this is the most recent song to come out. It's also available on the internets. Shall I?
Let her rip.
I got nothing inside me, empty as a spoken word. You can hear it while it's floating, hopefully you understood. But nobody carved my name into the wood. This body was formed just for this moment, fragile as a fog in the morning. And as it falls apart, as the chaos stills my heart, it'll burn off like a mist in the warmth. There is no one piloting this airplane. This thing has got a mind of its own. As we crash land, no one will step out on the sand. Just a burning wreckage down below. This summer I was falling for ages, fell for her so long ago, and I'd do it again. Baby, come on, take my hand and walk beside me where the spoonwood grows. I'm not sure what I miss so much about her. You're so beautiful and you're smiling right at me. I guess I miss the feeling something could last endlessly, but it's only right that I'd shake that belief. 'Cause you can't follow where I'm going. The dissolution keeps me warm. And as I'm falling lower, feel the fire beneath the earth, burning wreckage sinking down below. You seem to think there's some kernel inside me that flew into my mother's womb, that floats around my body, weaving colors like a loom that will linger like a summer afternoon. But honestly, nothing but this body, so soft and weak and doomed. I will separate way I was before my birth. I'll be the brook, the root, the rock, the worm. How I long for that supernova, carrying the iron in my blood. It'll fling me across the ocean. I'm nostalgic for the burn when I won't have to walk this earth, when I won't have to compare you to her, when I
Well, first off, that was beautiful.
Thank you.
But I feel like, you know what the Picardy third is?
Yeah.
I feel like your songs kind of have that sort of quality sometimes that like right at the end it kind of like resolves.
Sometimes.
I'm gonna have to go back and
I am
listen
obsessed
some
with
more.
like ending on the 4 or like not resolving. But that song certainly, I thought it was a nice contrast because it's kind of like the lyrics are like sort of
Yeah.
dark,
A little
but like to be like so cheerful and peaceful sounding and sweet sounding, like in terms of the guitar lines and the instrumentation on the recording is very like gentle and yeah.
Yeah. And that was the most recent release, Wreckage,
Wreckage, that's
Yeah.
right. Just came out like a month ago.
a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's lovely.
Thank
and
you.
You are lovely. Thank you so much for being here today. It's been
Yes.
an absolute pleasure.
Yes, it's been my pleasure. It's been so nice. Thank you so much.
You've got a show tomorrow at the Oakley Art
Oakley
House.
Art House. It's gonna be so fun.
You can find that out there in the wilds.
The flyers on
of
my
Instagram.
social
There's
media,
there's
yeah.
some flyers on his social media, which is Peter Stone Music.
That's right.
You've got some more music coming out, I'm sure.
More music coming out on the way. I've got great like collaborative recording projects going on with some of the people I've met here in Denver and Boulder, and yeah, stay tuned.
Definitely stay tuned. And we will be back next week with another artist to keep our tour of the music world here in Boulder and Denver going. Peter, do you have any last little shout outs or anybody you want to say hi to or anything else that you want to mention before we hop off the air here?
No, I'm really grateful to be here. Yeah, I'm
Thank you
excited
so
for
much for
summer.
Yeah.
It's a solstice party tomorrow, and the
Heck yeah!
summer is here.
The
It's
solstice
nice.
was like yesterday though.
It was
wasn't
on Wednesday. Yeah.
That's what it was.
Yep. Happy
Cool.
solstice, everyone.
Happy solstice, everyone! See you around.
See ya.